I'll get straight to it. Argylle is a hot mess. As a Matthew Vaughn fan, I was looking forward to this, but unfortunately what we got is a real mixed bag. There is some positive stuff in this film. It's good fun for the most part, it's slickly made and has a great cast with solid performances. Unfortunately, it's let down by a bad plot, which tries too hard to be clever, tired themes, and a bloated final act which left a sour taste in the mouth. So let's get into this. Argylle is the latest film from Matthew Vaughn, whose previous films include the Kingsman series, Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class and Stardust. Apart from the second Kingsman film, I think you can say he's got an excellent record. Argylle was written by Jason Fuchs. Previous films by him include Ice Age, Continental Drift, Pan and the first Wonder Woman, so not exactly the best catalogue. Wonder Woman is probably his only success there, and I don't think people really think of that for the script and plot. Argylle was announced in 2021 and the rights were bought by Apple for a reported $200 million. Vaughn describes the film as his ode to 1980s action thrillers like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. Spoiler alert, it's not a patch on any of those films. This is allegedly the first in a planned trilogy of films, although based on the initial box office performance I wouldn't get my hopes too high of seeing any more. There's a mid-credit scene which ties Argylle to Kingsman. Despite the tepid reviews and slow box office, Hollywood's desperation for new IPs might give Vaughn a chance to follow this up. Argylle has a fantastic ensemble cast including the always excellent Sam Rockwell, Bryce Dallas Howard, Bryan Cranston, Henry Cavill, Samuel L. Jackson, John Cena, Catherine O'Hara, Sophia Boutella and the very easy on the eye Dua Lipa as a small role.
Crikey.
Argylle opens up with Henry Cavill playing Agent Argylle, who is a secret agent on a special mission in Greece to find the Master File. This sequence is cliché-ridden and is guilty of just about every spy trope you can think of, with cheesy dialogue, a big shootout and a high-speed chase. But that's the point. This is all taking place in the head of novelist Ellie Conway, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. Conway is a shy spy author in the middle of writing the next and final entry in the Argylle series. Then the twists start coming thick and fast. Ellie is on a train on her way to visit her mother when she meets a scruffy superfan, Aidan, played by Sam Rockwell. Ellie laughs it off when Aidan tells her he's a real-life spy, but it soon becomes clear he's telling the truth when he saves Ellie from a stream of assassins who are trying to attack her. After they escape, Aidan explains that Ellie's books seem to be predicting what the bad guys in the real world are doing. He needs her to finish the next book to help him find the real-life Master File, which will bring down the bad guy rogue government agency headed up by Ritter, played by Bryan Cranston. What follows is a globe-trotting adventure with so many twists you'll start wondering if you're the bad guy.
Wait a second, slow down, I feel the plot twisting here.
I won't go through the whole plot, as I do think despite the issues it is worth a watch. So let's get into what I liked about this film. First off, it's a great cast and everyone puts in a solid performance. Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard are both excellent and play off each other well, especially in the early parts of the film where it evokes the best parts of similar films like Romancing the Stone. The central pairing are very likeable and this definitely helps you get past some of the clunky dialogue. Bryan Cranston is always a safe bet in any role and he doesn't let you down here despite not having the most interesting character to work with. And even though he's severely underutilised and has maybe the worst haircut I've seen, Henry Cavill is brilliant in the time he gets and just adds more evidence as to why he will be perfect to play James Bond. But alas, he's probably too straight, white and male for modern Hollywood. Argylle, for the most part, is fun. It's flashy, playful and has the quirky feel that Vaughn has delivered before in previous films. I say this as a compliment. Argylle feels like a Matthew Vaughn film. It's slickly shot and everything looks nice. The strongest part of the film are the great action set pieces. The fight scenes are inventive, exciting and expertly choreographed. For example, the full version of the train sequence, which you've probably seen in the trailer, is a particular highlight. Matthew Vaughn is superb at this. Just think of Kingsman and Kick-Ass. His panache for over-the-top fight scenes is fully on display here. If that's your thing, you shouldn't be disappointed. So now let's talk about the negatives. I'll start with the big one, the script. It's bad. It really says everything about a film when the best parts are the parts where the characters stop talking. The dialogue is all over the place and many of the one-liners feel dated and are no better than the intentionally cheesy parts taking place in Ellie's head. Most of the jokes don't land, even with the good actors trying their best. The plot just isn't good. Despite their best efforts to be a clever parody of spy films, it just feels tired. You can't help feeling you've seen this all before, but executed much better. If you've seen Total Recall, the Bourne series, or Romancing the Stone, then you'll know what I mean. This leads me on to my next issue. There are too many twists. The first few work and help keep the story feeling interesting in the first half of the film, but as they keep coming and piling up at a fast rate in the second half, it destroys the impact of the previous revelations. It really just starts feeling desperate. As much as I like the style and look of the film, the quote-unquote real world with Ellie and Aidan looks and feels just as cartoonish as the in-universe Argylle scenes taking place in Ellie's head, which ruins the contrast and impact when it switches between either. At runtime of 2 hours and 19 minutes, it starts feeling long in the final act, and just feels bloated by the end. I think you could cut about 20 minutes out of this, which would really help with the pacing. What also doesn't help the final act is the level of ridiculousness it reaches. It's similar to the final section of Kingsman with the exploding heads, but in Argylle's case just feels like it's gone too far. The big hallway fight scene near the end is clearly meant to be quirky and operatic, but in reality it's horrific to watch and feels very awkward.
What the fuck was that?
This is followed by an ice skating on oil fight scene.
What the fuck did you just say?
That's right, you heard me correctly. By this point I'd stopped caring about what was going on and just wanted it to wrap up. Another strange decision, the film heavily features the final Beatles song Now and Then, which was released in November 2023. In the film, this song is cited as being a sentimental song to two characters from 5 years ago. Argylle is definitely set in the present based on technology, cars and things like Samuel L. Jackson watching the Lakers on giant flat screens. So to use this brand new song as something from a character's past feels jarring. It's either straight up lazy writing or just some greedy product placement.
And Tobias met with Carl Weathers at Burger King.
Thanks for meeting me down there at Burger King. I'm trying to get them to underwrite a new TV project I'm working on. Get some money in exchange for setting a scene here in Burger King.
Well, as long as you don't draw attention to it.
Either way, it doesn't work. Okay, so let's wrap things up. I really wanted to love this film. Unfortunately, a bad script and strange production decisions make it difficult to do so. Argylle had the potential to be a smart parody of spy and secret agent stories, but it ends up falling victim to the cliches it's trying to poke fun at. To use the Kingsman films as both ends of the Matthew Vaughn barometer, it's better than the second Kingsman film, but nowhere near as good as the first. Argylle feels like Matthew Vaughn might be running out of ideas. What felt fresh and exciting in Kick-Ass and Kingsman The Secret Service is now starting to feel tired. Matthew Vaughn is at his best when he's working with good source material. Look at Kick-Ass, X-Men, Stardust, Kingsman. In Argylle's case, the script is the main barrier for this being as enjoyable as it ought to have been. My final verdict, wait for streaming. Keep your expectations down and you should find it a fun, relatively easy watch. If you've seen Argylle, what did you think? Let me know your comments below. Thanks for watching if you've made it this far. If you like this video, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Your support would be really appreciated.